BSSS Rhythm, BSSS Rhythm, BSSS Rhythm, BSSS Rhythm, BSSS Rhythm, BSSS Rhythm.
Hello dear viewers, I'm so happy that you're joining us back to listen to a very important podcast. Today I have with me a global faculty, a faculty from Synergy University, Russia. And I'm so happy to be joined by Lana. Will you introduce yourself?
So my name is Lana and I represent Synergy University from Moscow, and I'm working here as a teacher at BSSS University, and I'm teaching a very important course, leadership and the team building. Basically it's not the only my course, but for now 2 weeks I'm spending with bachelors, and I give them very important subject, how to be an amazing motivational leaders, inspiring leaders.
I'm so happy that you're talking on leadership and team building, because our students would be getting an international perspective, and BSS IAS is having these kind of pioneering courses in many of its first time events. So Lana, what are the so to say, if I ask you on the business ideas and the leadership mantras to these young students you would like to give?
Oh, well, to be honest, I can talk about it for hours. This is what I do on my course. It's about 10 hours of talking about this, but I'm sorry, in general, well, we have the best practices around the world, right? So we know that, for example, Sweden is very good at recycling things. We know that United States are very good at innovations. We know that Europe is good in this and India is good at that. So my idea to collect the best practices from around the world, and then working with different business, because I'm working with different business around the world. So it's United Kingdom, it's Russia, it's Sweden, it's Portugal. I'm just taking, not only the best practices, but also how to implement them to the different mentalities. And that was my another course about cross-cultural management.
All right.
It's very fascinating because we all have completely different mentalities. And can you imagine, in times of globalization, in times when we need to be in one boat, but we have no clue how to communicate with each other. We don't know that in Japan, for example, they are very quiet and they can give you the answer just with their eyes. But for example, if you go in Italy or Portugal, they're so they have so much impression. And for students who actually want to work on a global scale, to do some good businesses, they need to understand how to adjust. So we kind of need to wash away our personality and just be good leaders, be good managers who understand that adaptability, resilience, empathy, and being a good leader, it's in the first place. And this is what I'm actually doing with the students.
I'm so happy you spoke of cross-cultural management, and it is so important to know these nuances.
Yes.
Like you said, Japan, people probably wink and give responses.
Yes.
And blink and give responses rather. And on the other hand, if you look at the Indian demography is so huge.
Yeah.
Our cultures may be so varied from the north to the south and to the east to the west. So if I have, or if BSS IAS has a global perspective, and you're able to give that, so we are actually preparing our students to be global leaders of the future.
Exactly. So it's the whole framework which we created about 60 years ago, Hofstede framework, and this is what I was giving my students. So we focused on all these nuances around the world. I was teaching them what's the difference between the culture, how this difference appeared, and how to deal with it. How to deal with it when you're actually a leader, how to understand, because once you go to Finland, you will find completely different country from Japan, India, China, and so on.
Now, if I ask you something on leadership lessons for our Indian youth, 2-3 points if you may give them. How should they prepare themselves for the future ahead? How should they lead? Because this generation is getting prepared to be leaders of tomorrow. So leadership lessons?
Yes, yes, this is the whole responsibility for leaders of the future, and unfortunately, I should mention that leadership in the future will be in very uncertain times because the world changing too quick, and
Right.
adaptability and resilience is the main traits for the future managers. And this is what I'm trying to give them now, because like 50 years ago, in most of the countries, we were more or less stable. But for now, with AI, with again, like we have technology revolution, we need to be very adaptive, and we need to understand that decisions, what we made yesterday, they cannot be done today the same.
True.
So we need to be informed about everything what's going on. Information is a key, knowledge is a key, best practices is a key. But you are with your integrity is the most important. And you have to be resilient, strong, and know that from you, the future actually.
Ready to change, ready to adapt
Yes.
the new norms. Absolutely. So you're in India for some time and for the first time, I believe?
Yes, I'm here first time and absolutely in love with this country. I'm in love.
You are not seeing any cultural differences or anything. What do you
Wow.
like about India?
I should say that I love everything. It's completely different culture, but you know what I noticed is eyes and smiles. They're so open.
Open, yeah.
I always look into eyes, and in some cultures you can see that eyes says nothing. They're very closed. And here what you meet is just pure openness
Right.
and smiles and the sparkles in eyes. It's beautiful.
Yeah. So
So
that
I'm
is
in
there.
love.
That is there. Indians do express a lot through their eyes, and they are very warm people.
Yes.
So love them to get the love back. And I'm sure these children, you'll have a lot of fun interacting with them because they are
Yes.
also very, very reciprocative.
Yes.
So you're bringing a lot of global perspective to them, and gradually when they are opening up, I'm sure you will get a feel of the Indian mindset also.
Yes, to be honest, I noticed that first day the students, they were kind of like closed, and today they already started to open up, and we
Yeah.
have like proper conversations, and it's beautiful. But I understand that it takes time to build trust, and it's always like that in management, leadership. Always you need the time to trust each other, and this is what I also teach in my students.
True, true, absolutely. Now, when you spoke of trust, you know, one thing what comes to my mind is you might have heard of a theory by Erik Erikson where he talks
Oh
about
yes, Erickson.
trust versus
Yeah.
mistrust, you know.
Yeah.
But in times of AI and probably all this chat GPT and these kind of LLM models we are talking of, the trust factor is getting eroded. The trust is getting eroding. Rather, the trust is eroded. So, you know, how do you bring back this element of trust back into the workforce where I feel if a student is submitting this assignment, so this is his own assignment and not AI generated, or how do you
Okay.
induce that?
Okay, so that's the big issue, right? But I have maybe a little bit different opinion about that. AI is a good tool, but you can recognize that something was made by AI straight away. But when it comes to students, I actually, I'm sure that you can give them such kind of tasks which AI will not be able to do. For example, for me, it's more important that they presented the project themselves. Even if they use AI, it's a brilliant tool. It gives you a lot of information, it gives you a lot of ideas. But if you don't understand the subject, you will not be able to present that.
Right.
So for me, AI is a tool, but it's not something what will ever break the trust between people. Because once you look into eyes, you understand
figure
what's
it out.
going on. You
Absolutely.
will figure it out. That's why we talk
Ha.
about empathy a lot, about this emotional intelligence and how it's important being a leader with emotional intelligence, especially in the era of AI.
So what are the basic skill sets you feel are very, very essential in this generation of youth?
Oh, well, like I mentioned before, resilience on the first
Yeah,
place.
okay.
You have to survive. You have to know how to survive.
It's the
not like-
survival of the fittest, maybe, yes.
It's not like a survive in a river, but
Right.
survive in a metaphorical river of life, which
yeah.
is very uncertain, which is very unpredictable, and they just like you go with the flow. But what I'm trying them to understand that we as a managers, as a business owners, entrepreneurs, we are making this flow. So we have to be responsible in which direction it goes, because in this flow we will get a lot of people together with us. So it's a strength, it's a power, it's resilience, it's knowledge. And I was very surprised. I asked how many of you read the books, and just few hands, unfortunately, raised. And you can find all answers in the good books. I'm
True.
sure in that. Like no one teacher will give you all answers on anything, but you always can find best practices, like thoughts, wisdom in the books, even in ancient, like Platon or Stoics. Stoics, they're great. So I convinced them to read the books, and knowledge is the key.
True.
So it's a lot of factors, you know. So being a leader, it's taking a lot of responsibility. It's carrying a lot of responsibility, and not everyone can be a leader, because some people putting a lot of weight on their shoulders, they just breaking down. But some people, they start to thrive. They start to blossom
Absolutely.
as a trees. Then more responsibility they have, then better they feel.
Yeah.
So this is about leadership.
When you speak of that, I'm reminded of what our principal said yesterday in the staff meeting we had. And he spoke about, a good leader is somebody who is able to get the best out of the rest. So I was like, yeah, that's so true. And isn't that so? Because this is a common attribute that even the youth today should be having. They should be able to, that team building exercise should be there. And you would be involving a lot of team building exercises
Yes.
to the students?
Yes, we already actually started to do that. So we do a lot of brainstorm. They have absolutely brilliant ideas. So I can see that some of the students, they're thinking outside of the box, which is very nice.
Yeah.
So they come up with ideas what actually a very good managers could come up after some time, which is very nice. And we also will do team building, so they will be able to understand who are they in a team, because every team member has different roles, and not everyone will be a leader, because they are basically managers, but not all managers are leaders, right? So some of them are bosses, just managers, and we have leaders as well. So we shall see. And the final project will be also about the team building, about presentation, and I ask them to do to take the subject about something what will actually change country or world for better. So they got very excited about that, because they have opportunity to present something which is very important.
And Lana, you're coming at a time when India is strong with leadership at country level, at the world level also. And last year we hosted the G20, where the mantra was One Earth, One Family. So I'm sure our students will also come up to that level with strong leadership attributes. So how long you'll be here with these students?
Just 2 weeks. So this week and
2
the
weeks.
next week,
All
yeah,
right.
will be the last one, unfortunately. And I think that when it comes to India, you have such a big potential,
Right.
very big potential, because I need to admit that such countries like Sweden, people already relaxed. And when you don't have to survive, and you don't have to look for opportunities every day, your mind become very calm and steady. But in such environment like India,
Right.
you have absolutely bright minds. So this is the future. And Ray Dalio, he is absolutely amazing, financial scientist. he's given us these waves of every single culture. So such cultures like United States, United Kingdom, and Japan, they're already going down. They're already like here. And China, India, they started to thrive. And I understand why. Why. It's just a time, to change. So that's why we will work on important projects like a transport, educational system, and also recycling, because I'm in that, like environmental. I think that we need to sort out our plastic.
Absolutely.
So it's not only for India, it's like everywhere. So far we have just Sweden as a good example, the country who recycles 98% of all rubbish. They actually get in from other countries and recycle. And we can take this best practice and implement here, recycle, and you can get a lot of money from that. So I still have a business mind. I'm sure that it's a great business, profitable business. We just need to push students to the right direction, or educational system. I'm sure that educational system, it does work okay. We just need to give a little bit more inspiration to teachers, not just doing their job, but to make sure that they understand that this is future. Because I'm sure that you can change the world with the kids, with your own kids.
Absolutely.
I have two, and I can see that I'm responsible, and they're instruments for the better future, for the brighter future.
So you are absolutely there, because the motto of the college is towards a better world.
Yes.
So I hope that with these global collaborations, the institutes will be an instrument towards a better world. Lana, pleasure talking to you. You will have a wonderful 2 weeks over here. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much.
BSSS Rhythm.